Disclaimer: the views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent. Listener discretion is advised. Joey Cool's name is a reflection of his nonchalant bravado and swagger, but don't get it twisted. Though he may have this effortlessly cool persona, Joey comes through your head each and every time he picks up a mic. He's an artist on the Strange Music record label, based out of Kansas City, discovered by the man himself, Tech Nine. You might remember him from the 2021 hit Face Off with Tech Nine, King ISO, and Dwayne The Rock Johnson. He's got a brand new album out called Enjoy the View. Came out in September. It is enjoying spins right now. And today he joins me on the podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Caught on the Mic. Ladies and gentlemen, less than a month ago, my next guest released his latest album, Enjoy the View, on Strange Music. Some of you may be familiar with his work on the song Face Off with The Rock, Tech Nine, and King ISO. Ladies and gentlemen, Joey Cool is joining the podcast today. How you doing, man?
Great, man. How are you doing? Thank you for having me, man. I appreciate it, man. Glad we could finally link up, man, you know.
For real. So how things going in Kansas City right now? It's kind of a madhouse as far as the media is concerned, right?
It is.
Are you going to take advantage of that?
Yeah, man. We out here, man. You know, we stay at the games. And it's been wild for us since the beginning of the year, you know, with the Super Bowl and all that. And like Tech's the official ambassador now on them. And, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, you know, we're used to it, though, I guess. I'm not used to this part, but, you know.
It's funny because I've noticed in recent years, long before this fucking Taylor Swift shit, that like there has been like this electricity kind of brewing on the outskirts. Like Kansas City has always been an electric city, always. But now the world is finally taking notice, and it's amazing.
Yeah. They're catching on a little bit late. Better late than never, but you know how it goes. You know, like kind of started, well, even before that, but it started with the Royals winning the World Series in 2015 and going there in 2014 and all that, you know, basically where it all started here for us. And then the Chiefs a couple of years after that, you know, in their first one. And, you know, so it's just kind of been an avalanche snowball effect around here, you know. Most of it has to do with sports and, you know, with us, I guess, with Strange Music, we're also blowing up at the same time. So, you know.
Yeah, and that's just the thing. All it takes is that one big thing to kind of create that spark to fire moment, and then everybody will start paying attention to everything else that matters, like the art, the culture, the music, and everything that goes with it.
Yeah, absolutely. That's definitely part of what we are here in Kansas City, at least for the sports fans. Know that, I mean, Strange Music will be a part of it somehow, some way. You know what I'm saying?
Well, without any further ado, I'm going to allow you to kind of introduce yourself, and let's kind of talk your origin story. Why don't you talk about how you got into the game? You know, let's go from there.
I actually started making music like in a studio, writing like for real, like when I was 17 years old, probably my junior, going into my senior year type of stuff in high school. Then I moved to Chicago right after that, went to Columbia College, which is the Arts and Media Entertainment School. I went there and for like a year and a half. And then Chicago's so big, you know what I'm saying, that all the studios and everybody, all the teachers that we had, professors were actually working in their field. So, you know what I'm saying? So it was a lot easier for resources and me to get in studios and all that shit versus just starting in Kansas City. So when I was there, that's when I really was birthed. And actually where I got my name, Joey Cool, or Joe Cool, was in Chicago. After that, I came back, moved back to Kansas City, started to make some more like mixtape type thing, you know what I'm saying, on my second or third mixtape or something like that. And met JL, actually JLB Hood and Dutch Newman. Met both of them. And we just started doing shows in Kansas City, man, in the city. Like they were the ones that put me on down there. And we formed a little hip hop group, a little rap trio group called Three the Hard Way, you know what I'm saying? So shout out my bros. And yeah, basically me and Jay kind of just kept going with that. You know what I'm saying? Me and JL and Tech started coming out to watch our shows, like our local hip hop shows and shit, the Riot Room, Record Bar, whatever it may be. He was basically like recruiting. You know what I'm saying? He was trying to see, you know, what was going on around here, all the buzz and all that shit. So JL got signed first with Strange, you know, what was that, 2015, 2016 maybe? 15. Yeah, something like that. And then I got signed like the year after, you know what I'm saying? So like, and I was actually on JL's first tour with them, with Strange. He took me as his hype man, you know what I'm saying? And he would say every night to the crowd, "This is not a hype man. I promise you, by the end of this, you're going to see who he is. You're going to know who he is," and blah, blah, blah. So he had me do a couple of my own songs and that, this and that. And then literally like, I don't want to say less than a year later, they were signing me too. So, you know what I'm saying? Like we both got chains at Red Rocks and all that good stuff. So we kind of got to keep it in the family coming up. And that had a lot to do with Tech, obviously, like I said, coming to watch us like as we were coming up in the local Kansas City hip hop scene. So after that, man, that's just basically where I've been, man. I've been at Strange, man. I've been doing my thing. This is my 6th year now. Just passed last week. Yeah, last September 29th, I think, is when I signed 6 years ago. So yeah, man, this is home, obviously. You know what I'm saying? This is where I'm trying to be at for a little bit longer. So if anybody has any questions about that ain't, I ain't going nowhere. You know what I'm saying? So I'll be here for a little bit longer. But yeah, that's about the backstory, man. That's where I came from, where I'm at, you know, where we're going.
That's amazing. Let's talk a little bit about what motivates you as an artist. Like, what kind of things that you gravitate to when you're writing and your writing process a little bit?
It comes from a lot of places, like pretty much anything really. But if I'm like listening to something, it's usually not rap while I'm writing. It's usually like a big band, like Frank Sinatra, James Brown. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm listening to Jimi Hendrix and Led Zeppelin. I listen to a lot of classic rock, soul, funk type shit when I'm actually writing my own stuff. Mostly because I don't want to be influenced by anyone.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because everybody got an idea, and then I'm like, damn, I could do that too. You know what I'm saying? So usually I go with the other direction and something slowed down, you know, big band type shit, you know. But it also kind of interweaves in my music too. I'm sure you could tell if you listen to it and shit. Like, got a lot of influence from Frank Sinatra, you know, Rat Pack, all that shit.
I love that. It's funny you mentioned that because just the other day I was at the gym and I was taking in Enjoy the View and I was listening to it. I listened to it a few times through. And one thing that's very distinct about your style specifically is you tend to be this perfect marriage of the old school and the new school.
Yeah.
And if Kansas City has a sound, it is the Strange music sound for sure.
I definitely try to do that just because I guess as my integrity as an artist it won't allow me to do anything else. I have to incorporate that somehow. Plus, being from Kansas City, I mean, that's where jazz originated. Like, I don't know what else. I mean, that's just in my shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can actually hear it in Tech, his verses, his flows and shit, bro. Like, he raps like a fucking jazz flute. Like, you know what I'm saying? Right. He's all over the place, you know what I'm saying? So it's really it's a whole thing, like 18th and Vine, all that, you know, gym theater, that's a whole thing. And so I definitely try to keep that in mind, like on purpose when I'm doing anything, you know. Plus hip hop is so influenced by shit like that, people wouldn't even know that.
Right.
Soul, funk, R&B, blues, you know what I'm saying, country music, anything hip hop is influenced by it. So
well, and that's a great comparison as well, because you think about jazz music traditionally, it's tight syncopation with really tight drummers that are not afraid to kind of veer off, but keep things in perfect time. And that is your sound. It's that tight syncopation that goes at your own pace. Sometimes it's fast, sometimes it's slow, but it definitely has its own cadence to it.
And just switch the whole thing up. Like that's part of that shit I get from jazz and shit. You know what I'm saying? There might be one song, two songs, three songs later and the same fucking song. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's part of the Kansas City thing. We all kind of mesh. Like I tell people, even with the weather here, like we're going to get every single thing because it literally comes from east, west, north and south through us. we get
Right. I was a musician for many years, and actually my foundation is in jazz, and one of the first rules of jazz is if you make a mistake, just do it again, because then it becomes intentional.
turns into that. It turns into jazz. Like,
For sure, for sure. So your current album, Enjoy the View, let's talk a little bit about what it was inspired by. I just read an article recently that was promoting the single Kingdom, and the pandemic had a lot of influence on Enjoy the View. Why don't you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, I did actually. I've actually explained this a couple times, but I feel like the main reason that I picked that title and like my reason behind the whole album is because, like you said, just the pandemic, because we're entertainers, right? You know what I'm saying? So we had to come back, there was no groups of people. Now we're 3 years removed from that, okay? Technically, whatever, 3 years removed.
Right.
But we would be the last group of workers that could actually have groups of people like that. You know what I'm saying? And some artists were still scared to tour until this year, until the end of last year, you know what I'm saying? Just to make sure everything was cool. A lot of people were canceling shit. Actually, Tech did the first Tech ISO and Ritz, Jerry, they all did the first one back, I believe. The biggest one back for anybody was from COVID in 2021, right? Yeah, that was around when Face Off dropped.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so my thing with the album was now that we're 3 years removed, I'm actually able to like step back, get back to the fans. Like we don't have to wear masks and meet and greets and shit no more. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm all right. Let's enjoy this. Let's not take this for granted anymore. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like this could all be taken away from us especially not being able to get in front of all you people like we really want to, and like y'all really want to. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what Enjoy the View was about for me. And then just all the milestones and shit I've made as well, over the years. Like I said, this is my 6th year with Strange too, so I had to kind of step back. Like, damn, I have done quite a bit, here in a short amount of time too. But I guess that's what Strange music will do for you too. You know what I'm saying? So
sometimes it's hard to actually enjoy the view from a long-term perspective like that, because time is just, I have a weird relationship with time right now, as I'm sure a lot of people do. And maybe it's a result of the pandemic where it's really hard to put things into perspective and see how much has changed and see how much we've changed as a result. With that said, there was a post that you put out on social media this last week that I absolutely loved. And it was a series of comments from haters that have kind of stuck with you throughout the years.
Yes. I actually RIP my good friend and brother Info Gates. Right before he actually passed, I was getting signed around that time, all that. He was telling me that, because he knows me, we hung out a lot. You know what I'm saying? He was like, Joe, you cannot look at comments. He was like, you get signed, you're going to have a lot of haters. Don't look at the comments. You're just like me. I know how this is going to go. You're just going to be like, where the fuck you live? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'll pull up. I have actually trained myself not to do that, But there's always these little ones I can see here and there that just kind of stuck with me. Like, some of those comments from like years ago, you know what I'm saying? Like years ago when I say shit like this. And it kind of just sticks with me, not in I don't want to say a negative way. It just sticks with me as in like a fueling type way. Like these are these things, like, you know what I'm saying? Like there was when I was coming up, I was making like my first mixtape or something when I was in high school, bro. Somebody called me, an anonymous phone number called me, back then this was like 2005 or something like that. So it wasn't like it was nowadays. Ain't no fucking smartphones and all that bullshit back then. So I just get the anonymous, like the private call popping up, you know what I'm saying? So I have no idea what's going on. But the dude on the other line was like, yo, this is so-and-so from blah, blah. He was like, is this Joe Cool? I'm like, yeah. He's like, oh, this is blah, blah from so-and-so from da-da-da, your whack records. He was like, we want to sign you to a deal. So, bro, I swear to God, that's the main thing that made me be a rapper right there, that time right there. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes these comments motivated us in ways that these people wouldn't even realize.
Yeah.
I literally on Kingdom, like Tech literally just wrote a verse in response to a dude that was talking crazy to him on Instagram. And he's this Tech 9, he still does this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
Tech, they're talking shit to people, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
it's just one of those things where it's like you use it this way or use it that way. I choose to use those things. Like I choose not to forget, you know what I'm saying? Not forgive, not forget type of thing. You know what I'm saying? Like
As an artist, it kind of fuels your fire to level up the next go around for sure.
yeah, yes, absolutely. That's what it does for me every time, bro. Like anytime I'm even thinking about giving up, not being good enough, any of that shit. I'm just like, no, look where you did. Kind of just enjoy the view. Like, look where you're at though. Like you could think that, but I mean, you know, your opinion really doesn't matter about that because look at the facts here where we're at. You know what I'm saying? Like that's all that really matters.
Has there ever been a comment that has specifically fueled one song in your entire catalog of music that you've recorded?
Ooh. Man, there's a few of those. I don't know. I honestly, I'll be honest about what Face Off. I wrote that during the riots. This was during COVID.
Right.
So during the riots here, Kansas City, all over the U.S. You know, there was a bunch of shit. I actually the first verse I wrote like 2.5 verses for that song. And the first time I wrote it, it was really like because you know you can hear when I'm at the neck, like I'm at the next, like Dr. King. The whole thing was like that. Like I was really going that way, and I was like. My homie had to tell me, nah, bro, I don't know if you want to do all that. You know, like you got to just dial it back a little bit. And like it worked out, you know, because I kept part of those things. You know, I just wanted to show empowerment for, you know, my ancestors and things like that, you know, civil rights leaders and all that, especially going on at the time. But that wasn't even like something that was said. It was just what was going on.
Right.
That's why that verse was so powerful. Like, no, we got to fucking keep fighting here. You know what I'm saying? Like all of us, you know, together. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
Speaking of that song in particular, that was such a huge bubble of that moment in time because it blew up on TikTok. It was getting played all over the place. Obviously, it helps having somebody as high profile as Dwayne Johnson on the track. How surrealistic was that for you as an artist living through that?
It's still fucking surreal to me, man. That is clearly like, you know, at one point really still is the biggest art, like the most famous person in the world, man. I mean, honestly, but everybody knows The Rock, you know what I'm saying? I actually grew up watching this motherfucker on WWF. Like, that was my like, Stone Cold, like, you know what I'm saying? That was my shit, bro. We was all watching that shit growing up. And yeah, it's I didn't even know he was going to be on it. Like, I didn't know that was happening. So, like, they played it for me, and he was on there in the studio, and Travis, and he wasn't in the studio, but Trav played it, just kind of looked over me as his verse was going on, and I was just like, man, what the fuck? I'm like, oh, he's rapping. Like, you know, boy, think, hear him, you know. So, first time I heard that shit, I'm like, dude, walked up to ISO, like, dude, what the hell is happening right now? We just did a song with Oprah.
Right.
Like, that's what I told him. Like, we just did a fucking song with Oprah, man. Like, that's how big this is. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like definitely still surreal. And I still got a pretty good connection with his teams. As Terramana, they sent me. I just got a package. What's today? Yesterday for of boxes of cases of Terramana. I'm actually going to take a shot real quick of that. But, you know, shout out to people, shout out to Terramana and shit. But no, they yeah, Nicole, Maya, Rock, obviously, DJ, all them, bro, they're really freaking cool over there, man. And it's really dope that they're still that humble enough to even reach out to people and still be talking to me and all that shit. Like, I just shared the video with Kingdom with me and Tech with them, and they're like, dude, this is fucking bad. They asked me for my album before it came out.
That's like, awesome.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, they're really cool people and shit. And it's just surreal to see one of my fucking childhood heroes, you know, on a rap song. Like, that's history. That's history, dog. History with, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we all made history. Strange Music made history with that shit. You know what I'm saying? So something that like no one could ever take from us. That's what that means to me, for real.
I love that. I love that. So kind of putting that in perspective and looking through the windshield as opposed to the rear view mirror, where do you want to take things next? Now that you're kind of in this release cycle with Enjoy the View, the tracks are making the rounds, Kingdom's getting some plays, and you're doing your hustle, like you're doing some podcasts. Like, what's next for Joey Cool?
I'm actually about to hit the road. Got to get back to it, man. Got to get back to the bags. Get back to the fans out here, man. We'll be going to Texas here for a couple dates, and then I'm gonna do my first Canada run right after that. So I'm gonna with Ready Rock D, man. We're gonna be in Canada for about a week and a half or something like that. And then yeah, man, it should be good. It should be good. I haven't been out there, but I know those fans fuck with me a lot. So you know what I'm saying.
That's dope.
Get dope time. But after that, it just comes down to holidays, man. We try to chill. We don't try to do too much around the holidays, but obviously got to plan a couple things, and then we just go into planning the next year, bro. Just going like I want to get back on the road for real. Like all year I'm trying to be on the road, gone. So saying that's definitely what's up for me. I want to take this album and put it out there in front of people, like the Boss Man has done for many and plenty of years. You know what I'm saying? Like
for sure.
Formula works. I don't know why I would go veer against it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm in house. I get to see it. You know what I'm saying? So
that's awesome. So is there an artist that you haven't had the opportunity to work with, or somebody you would like to feature on, or feature on one of your tracks? Like, who's your dream artist to collaborate with?
Oh man, I got a couple. Kendrick Lamar is one of them. J. Cole's one of them. I really like Corday. I really like J.I.D. I feel like we'd all make some dope shit. My favorite artist of all time, the dude that made me start wanting to rap, is Jay-Z. I know that's probably happening because homie ain't, he a billionaire now. He feel like he ain't got to do the shit no more, but it's cool. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, Uncle Tip and T.I., that's one of my top one or two. I need one of them from Tip. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Tip, Jay-Z, man, like it's still, man, it's crazy to me that I can reach out to fucking Tech Nine and get verses, man. Like
right.
Still crazy to me. Like this nigga just get on my shit for no reason. You know what I'm saying? Like shit be free and shit. You know how much he charges verses? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like shit kind of crazy, bro.
I love all that. It's funny, just before we dialed into this call, somebody shared a picture of an old tweet J. Cole posted right before he actually broke through. And he said, I just noticed I got 500 followers. Thank you. I appreciate every single one of you. And that's like a sense of humility that you're like, fuck, that's rare in the industry, especially with what he's become as a result.
Oh yeah. That's like Tech taking J-Rock on tour and Kendrick being his fucking hype man. And then the next thing you know, he's fucking Kendrick Lamar.
Dude, that is so awesome. Because like, honestly, in my top 5, To Pimp a Butterfly is one of my top 5 albums, hip hop albums. And as much flack as I'm going to get for this, I'm sure, but the Black Album by Jay-Z is untouchable for me personally. Back when I was singing in rock bands, the year I decided, okay, I'm done. I'm ready to walk away from music. The Black Album was my soundtrack and the catalyst for that. I'm like, this guy made an album about quitting and retiring, and he did it in the most pimp way possible, you know?
He made the retirement album. Like, he made that popular. Like, you can't tell me Jay-Z didn't make that popular. He's the only one who made that popular. He did a whole fucking show at Madison Square Garden. There was a whole thing about it.
Right.
Motherfucker retired and came back like 2 years later.
I know, but it still holds up. Even though he came back, the album still holds up. Totally.
Great, bro. That's one of those ones that I was just like, this dude is just fucking unstoppable. Like, I don't see how you even to hate on this dude like at all by any means. You know what I'm saying? That was one of my the reason that him being that guy for me is, I think when I was like 11, for no reason, like I don't know why, my mom just bought me. It was Christmas. She bought me, one of the gifts was a Vibe, the Vibe magazine where he had the fucking fedora on with the mask and shit. She bought me that in the blueprint. Yes. She had there's no reason this woman knows who Jay-Z is at the time, except for she's from New York, he's from New York. That's probably all she cared about. You know what I'm saying? And I saw that, heard that, put that shit in that day on Christmas, and I was just like, ever since then, I'm like, dude, I want to do this. This sounds awesome. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, it's a core memory and a life-changing moment for sure.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And yeah, I mean, and then him just being what is now and how he's continued being like an advocate for reform and jail and probation and fucking like he's a billionaire for a reason. You don't just come from Marcy Projects and you get that for no fucking reason. Like, you know, I'm fucking married to Beyonce and shit. Like, I'm something right here along the lines, you know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. Like, you know, might not be your favorite rapper, might not be even the most, in my opinion, this is my guy, me saying this, he might not even be the greatest rapper of all time, technically and all that shit, but he's still the greatest to me. I don't, you know what I'm saying? Don't really care. You know?
So, given those moments of inspiration that have kind of fueled your fire and your favorite artists, guys that you want to collaborate with, all of this and everything that you've experienced since, you know, the pandemic began, Face Off hit, and releasing this current album, Enjoy the View, what is your advice for making the world a better place tomorrow than the world we live in today?
Ooh. I guess my only, the first thing that comes to mind is being kind to each other. Like, I think one of my biggest pet peeves of all time is, Tech Nine interviewed me once and asked me this, was one of my biggest pet peeves. I said, people without manners. I just don't understand. Yeah, I feel like if more people just had manners, even if you don't like someone, if you were polite enough to just maybe realize you don't like them, just walk away. You know what I'm saying? Manners. That's what makes the world a different, better place. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, just respect for humankind in general. Like, you know what I'm saying? Everybody ain't gonna get along. You don't have to like anybody. You don't have to. Fucking siblings don't get a fucking along. You know what I'm saying? But that doesn't mean that you still have that respect for that. That's what I kind of look at it like. You have that respect, the manners to just be like, hey, maybe I don't like this. I don't have to say nothing about it. I can just go this way. You know what I'm saying? I don't got to fuck with this person. Like, I respect that way more than anything else. I would respect that way more than anything else. And I think that being kind to each other is just the one thing that would help so much. I really do. And there's just so many people who are not kind to each other, man. For real.
I love that response. Ladies and gentlemen, Enjoy the View, available on Strange Music right now by my friend Joey Cool. Check out all of his music on your favorite streaming platforms, but more importantly, buy the fucking album. Support the artist. Well, actually, Joey, where can they find you online?
Everywhere, anywhere you look. All you got to do is type in Joey Cool and I'll pop up, man. Instagram, Twitter. I think Twitter's the real Joey Cool, but Instagram's Joey Cool, Facebook Joey Cool, YouTube Joey Cool TV, or just go to Strange Music Inc. You know, and then you can navigate through that way. Buy the album at strangemusicinc.net. Or iTunes or wherever you buy shit. Just do that, you know what I'm saying? Do all that stuff for you boys out here. We actually still print CDs, man. So y'all can still be nostalgic with us. You know what I'm saying? We CDs, t-shirts, stickers and shit. We still old school with our shit, bro. And everyone loves it, bro. Because when you go to the shows, you actually get to see this firsthand. Like, people will be like, dude, that's a CD. You know what I'm saying? It's only $10. Here. Give me pull that out. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you got that, bro. You can get all type of CDs in this motherfucker. Get Tech Nine's old shit in here, bro. For real.
So, are there any plans to make a swing back through ISO's home city of Omaha? That's where I'm at. I'm actually in Lincoln.
You from out there too?
Yep.
Oh yeah. You know, y'all ain't far away. We right by the crib over there. I actually been talking to Strawstone. I'm sure you know Strawstone.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. I've been talking to the bro, and we gonna do. Me and him. We gonna put something together. I'm gonna do something out there in the O land, in the O town.
Sweet. I was just trying to figure out whenever I could connect with my new friend in the real world.
I mean, no. They Tech and ISO will be with Hollywood Undead out there, won't they?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know if that show's already happened or not, though.
They ain't left yet. They haven't left yet.
Got it.
Yes. They leave this month. They actually leave here in a couple of weeks, I'm pretty sure. But that might be one of the first ones. I might pop out for that motherfucker right there.
You're gonna have to hit me up, shoot me a message through Instagram, and we'll meet up.
I get you. You know what I'm saying? I'll come back. We'll pull you back there and shit. I got you, bro. For sure.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is my new friend, Joey Cool. Thanks for being a part of the show, my friend. The world's a better place with you in it.
Man, I appreciate you, brother, man. Thank you so much for having me, man, and allowing me a platform to speak on some things, man. I appreciate that, for real.
Man, the invitation's always open, my friend.
Hey, man, we'll do another one. I got you.
Once again, I want to thank my friend Joey Cool for doing the podcast today. It was a long time coming. We've been talking since midsummer about him doing the show. I'm glad we were finally able to make it happen. Make sure you give Joey Cool a follow on all social media platforms. He has a YouTube channel. And make sure you follow Strange Music as well. They've got a great roster of artists. I'm excited to work with them more in the future. While you're being generous with your social media follows, make sure you follow Caught on the Mic on all your preferred social media platforms. You can also find me at www.caughtonthemic.com, and don't hesitate to shoot me an email. I can be found caughtonthemic, M-I-K-E, at gmail.com. This has been Caught on the Mic with Michael Clark. I'm Michael Clark. Until next time, thank you